I just wanted to share something I think is a little bit important. And from my experience, every group is not good for you. And I wanted to share this because, you know, definitely with when I was younger, and so I understand younger people, and the same can be for older people, not wanting to feel alone, wanting to be not so much accepted, but a part of a group. You know, just even like in everyday life, family, or in the workplace, we participate in group think. You know, even if we disagree with some of the things that somebody else is saying, but because it's like popular, or excuse me, just one of those things of going along to get along, we just participate in groupthink. Like, we don't say what we really feel when something comes up that we don't agree with, or something that, you know, feels a little funny in the gut. You know, that gut feeling is hard to, depending on how demanding and powerful is the wrong word, but how demanding the leader of the group is, or the one that's the loudest, you know, with their views that we, you know, just go ahead and get along and agree with, just to, you know, not be pointed out as that one's different. You know, and when something like that happens, it's like, you know, you're going to get attacked, or, you know, things of that nature. And so what came to mind when I was thinking about this is when I was younger, you know, going to church and staying in the church environment all through the week, and definitely every Sunday, all different, you know, different things, the choir, the groups, the this, the that, right? And I remember as I got older, I think it could have been after college or during college, coming home to visit, someone said to me, because they knew how, you know, whatever. And so as I was getting older, they said, Emily, you don't have to go to church all the time to find God. It's what's inside of you. You need to look within you. And you know, that doesn't necessarily make you a good person. I'm not, you know, they were saying, I'm not saying anything's wrong with it, but I want to let you know that's not where you go to, I guess, find the good within you, or whatever, or find God. And then, you know, and I thought about that later on in life. And then there's another thing where, and I heard this quite often from many different people, was don't be going up in some of them churches, you get in there and you can't get out. But they never explain it. They, you know, people always say shit like, don't do this, don't do that, or they say little hints, you know, or whatever, but they never explain stuff. Whether they don't know how to explain things for age appropriate, or for to not be looked at as you need to listen to me and not me just telling you this so you can develop your own mind and thoughts and how you believe, or just pay attention to these things and beware, you know, just by giving details and things of that nature. So I've heard that quite often. And so now that I'm older and I think about specifically those two things, I think about the word cult and cult-like mindset. And so now today, you know, talking about different groups and things of that nature. And like I said, I understand how important it is to have human connection and be around human people, and being in a group. But I'm seeing a lot of hate with the FBA. I don't know where it comes from. There's a lot of talk about maybe it comes from the government, maybe it comes from the white or the Caucasian hatred, prejudice person, or it really whatever. Then I watched somebody do a video and point something out, and I'm like, okay, so FDA stands for Foundational Black American, but then I watched a video of how the leader of the organization collected so much money from the individuals. And remember, the name of the organization is Foundational Black American, like the original Black Americans, that are saying, you know, I don't want to be called African American, I'm an American living in America. And so, but he took all this money, thousands and thousands of dollars, I don't know if he made millions, and he's from Haiti and went straight to Haiti. I don't know about straight, but he went to Haiti, and they showed a picture of him giving out water filters or something like that. And he's from Haiti. And then, you know, he got a lot of his information from Dane Calloway, and that's how he teaches his people. And but then it's like, my thing is, you can be, I understand the hate on every side of the coin. Is horrible. And I know how demanding some of the Africans can be. I'm from New York, and I lived in Florida, and I know, you know, how demanding and put offish some people can be, and some people don't. It can be really rough and tough, right? But I see how the young people are, some of the people, you know. Okay, let me try to explain it like this. You know how we say slavery was, right? In a sense, and a slave master. And then the beatings, the hanging people, the massive killings, and then the people that they're doing this to turn out to be just like them and do the same thing. Even with the rapings and, you know, stuff like that. So you do something to me, and eventually I pick up your habits and I turn into who you are, you know. So it's very, I'm just sharing from my experience and giving my perspective and my view on that, is that I understand how people don't respect Black Americans, and, you know, a lot of stuff was stolen, identities and this and that or whatever, and everybody in America is not in the same position or the same background or the same views. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't make it wrong. It doesn't make it right. Nobody's wrong, nobody's right, you know? But, and I understand when you try to put your foot down and say, stop telling me who I am, and stop trying to manipulate my mind, you know, the same way they did in the churches and things of that nature with the cults. And so I was trying to, you know, I look at certain ways that can help with reactionary towards people that are negative towards you because you're trying to do something and you're trying to feel a certain way. And so that's why I did the video before this, talking about ad hominem, is you know, even though they say bad stuff about we made you, we built you, and just really bad stuff. You have no tribe. You guys did nothing but, you know, be on drugs and gangs and this and that, and in the ghetto of America, whatever, right? And they just say really bad stuff. But I just wanted to try to figure out, as I talk to other people, how to deal with people who constantly attack you and try to manipulate your mind and say, why aren't you like them? You know, regardless of why they want to do that. And one of the ways I wanted to share how I do that is by just look up Let Them. One person that's really big, and they wrote a book on Let Them, is Mel Robbins. You know, and then there's songs out now that people are making about let them talk their shit, let them, you know, pop off at the mouth, let them. I mean, they want to kill and murder. I'm not saying let them do that, but, or, you know, but one way is to look at the let them theory. And then, you know, like psychologist Dr. Romney is really big on DEEP. That's where I learned the acronym from. DEEP, don't defend, don't engage, don't explain, and don't personalize to people that don't. They only want to spew their story upon you. And when you try to explain what you want to believe and give your side, they dismiss you and, you know, just pretty much find a penis, take it out and piss all over you, right? And so just saying that, when, you know, I've heard the saying of, you don't, no matter what they do, you don't want to turn into that type of person. And besides those two ways of, you know, not engaging with them, then just let them. But sometimes you do have to stand your ground and, you know, put your foot down. But it's not effective when you when one pops back off at them in the same manner that they do, with that venom and disrespect, because it spoils your soul and your spirit. And I heard one guy, and it just hurt so bad when he said, I just hate you guys, you know, y'all just don't, you know, respect and whatever. And I'm like, man, but it's hard. Another thing I was looking at is, as I look at I was looking at something else, you know, and it all boils down to dealing with people. But sometimes you just gotta gather and find your own like-minded people, your own similar-minded people. And I wanted to explain how to get out of a group, how to get out of a cult, how to get out of a church, how to get out of especially a group that is totally manipulative and becomes very toxic when you start getting that gut feeling and you start doing your own homework and it's not for you. And then the main thing is to not feel guilty within yourself for choosing that group. That's something you wanted to do, and there's nothing wrong with that. And then to not feel guilty about the people you may leave behind, or the people that you gave so much money to. The guilty thing. Once you get over that and learn how to not feel guilty about things of that nature, you know, by watching your favorite, whoever talks about narcissistic behaviors and controlling and manipulation, will help. And But as far as getting together with other people, you don't have to be alone, but eventually you will find your own tribe. A hint to that is listening to various different people on various different outlets, and not just listening to one thing that resonate with you. Go back to the old days when they was first starting to post, or look at reviews online for the person that interests you, and then start, you know, following people like that, and then those that reply to the people, you know, and then look at their profiles as well, things of that nature. But you're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. Just do what you think is right, whatever you want to do. And the main thing is that you have a voice, and nobody can take that away from you, regardless of how demanding they may seem or be. There's nothing wrong with you, and there's no need to feel guilty.